Hey y'all, it's Kristen, and I will be presenting a Mystic craft that will be the final craft in the series. And I'm calling these inspirational blocks. I realize there's an oxymoron there, but if you played with alphabet blocks as a child, that's really what I was thinking about with these. But they're grown up and magical, and you can use them for altar decor. So what I have are just two blocks here as examples, and I've made these with watercolor paper and just used some stickers and just colored the backgrounds with some brush pens. I was lucky enough to find some stickers that just happened to be the exact same size, and so I think it just turned out really well. And so each side is just an inspirational, motivational, encouraging phrase. And sometimes it's just great to have these just sitting on your altar just as a reminder for you. It doesn't have to do anything. Of course, if you want to, you've just made dice. You can do some dice divination as well. But I really like just having these as just messages that just sit on my altar space. I always like to have lots of little things like that. Just kind of sitting on my altar, just keeping it fun and kind of light. So let me go through what you're going to need to make these blocks. First of all, you're going to need some watercolor paper, and I am using a 9 by 12 inch. You need at least that. You could do a larger size, you could do 10 by 12. That would be a good proportion to use as well. But basically either 9 or 10 by 12. And I'm using 140-pound paper, which I think is a good weight. I recommend that you get a scoreboard. I say this all the time. I really couldn't imagine my life now without this. It's so easy, and we are going to score a lot, which is putting creases into things. Of course, you don't need this, but you are going to be needing to crease things pretty precisely. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to need something to glue the edges. I've just been using a glue stick, so I find that the glue stick works pretty well, but I also use some double-sided tape for some of the edges. And for decorating, some stickers. I'm going to be using stickers from this Happy Planner book. I have lots of stickers, and think about the stickers in terms of whatever you want to show on your blocks. You know, you don't have to make them inspirational. They can be whatever you want. And then I'm using some Tombow brush pens. So I'm going to show you how I use the brush pens. It's just a really easy, simple way to use them for this project, but use whatever coloring tools you like. Now, before we go further, I just want to show you some other examples to give you some ideas, because of course, again, you don't have to make your blocks like mine, like those I just showed you. They don't have to be inspirational. I've also made some with cardstock. I've actually done some where I printed them out on the computer. And so we can see some of them are astrological. Some of them are based on the self-care puzzle that I put into my Ko-fi page a while back. And it's just different words. I also made some that are divinatory in the sense that I just kind of toss them, and so they have different pictures on them, and those pictures would just be interpreted. And I also have a really cute emoji based set. So these are just some ideas for you to think about. And if you were in the Pulp and Paint class, PPP 2021 this year, I did a session on making these blocks, and we did something very specific with them. We did like a special lesson on them. So if you were in that class, then you probably already have your blocks and you can use them with that lesson as well. So these are just some extra ideas. But again, they're your blocks. You can do whatever you'd like to with them. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to take the watercolor paper. Like I said, 9 by 12 or 10 by 12. And we're going to score it. And what we're going to be doing is basically making 2-inch squares. So to do that, we're just going to score at the 2-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, and 10-inch. You can see I have, well, maybe you can't see, I have the paper horizontal first. Okay. So we're just going to score 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And now we're going to turn the paper vertically, and we're going to score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. And if you only have the 9 by 12, which is fine, you'll see that you have these 2-inch squares except for the last column here, which is going to be a little bit short, but that's fine. Once you do this, you're going to have your full sheet, and we're going to, I don't know if I can fit the whole thing here. What you're going to do is cut out a cross shape. Okay, I'm going to turn it this way just so that you can see the whole cross. So if we're turning it this way, it looks like a cross. So what you're doing here is, let me see if I can adjust this a little bit up. So I can put everything into the frame. And so what you're doing here is you're going to take part of it and you're going to cut this shape out of that piece of paper. And you can do whatever you want to with the little extra parts. Okay? So, just so in case you can't see everything, starting at the top, if your paper is vertical, you're going to have from the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares going down. Across, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4.5 or 5 squares across. 5 if you have the 10 by 12 paper. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5 going across, or, excuse me, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares going down. And then you're going to cut that out. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It should look like this. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. Let's see. Okay, hopefully you can see that a little bit better. So you can see all of the squares. And I think about this as a head, 2 arms, and then the tail. Okay, so cut this out. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going down, 1, 2, 3, 4.5 or 5 going across. I'm just gonna set this up. Let's do it on the side, because this is the messier part. We're gonna start coloring and gluing. So now you can, I've made some of these blocks where I painted it afterwards. You can do that, or you can do it beforehand. I'm going to show you how to do it beforehand, because I think it's just going to be easier that way. And we're only going to color 6 of these squares, because we're making basically dice. We're going to color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm just going to take, let's see, do I have, yeah, I have enough colors here. I'm just going to take my brush pens, and I'm just going to color in all of the squares so that you'll be able to see which ones we are coloring in. And hopefully my head won't get in the way. And I'm just taking a brush pen and doing a really quick filling in. Easy peasy. And you can turn this different ways if you like. Let's do this side first. Don't think I did that one yet. Let's see. I'm just turning it around just to, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, but just to have a variation with the direction. And then we just have one more here at the top. Make that one a little bit. Okay, so let's just take a look at that so we can see again. The head, the tail, the arms. And we're just coloring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so just really simple. And again, you don't have to use brush pens, you can use whatever you like. Now from here, you can actually put on stickers. So I'm just going to use this one, and I'm going to put on some circular stickers. Let's see, what can I find here? I like this one here. You've got this. Let's get that one out. Kind of like it on this one. So I'm just going to put that there. There's some more here. Create Beauty. Go with that one here. I like this one too, Every Moment Matters. And because they're stickers, you don't have to do any gluing down. Let's see if I can find 3 more. Let's look at this page. Getting It Done. I like this one that says Live Big. Let's put that one here. And I like the Treat Yourself one that's right here. Let's put that right here. Okay, easy peasy. So now I have all of my design done. Right now, all we have to do is put it together. So whatever side you design on, you want to turn it over and crease. So from the opposite side, now we're going to make all of our creases. And I just go around to each side and crease it so that it's even. You might find things a little askew. Making these well really depends on how precise your cut is, you know, like how precisely you've cut this out, how precisely you've creased it, you've scored it, creased it, cut it. And then in a minute, we're going to glue it together. So if you haven't done it well, your box will be a little bit wonky. Your block will be a little wonky. No worries though. It's all good. So what we have is this. And again, we have the head, the tail, and the 2 arms. So I'm going to show it to you actually from this position first. I'm just going to show it to you first. So we're going to take the tail and we're going to fold the tail up like this. Then we're going to take the short arm and put it under that. The long arm goes over top of that. And then the head comes over the top of all of it. Okay, just letting it go so I'm just going to say it one more time. So this is your cross, the head, the tail, and the arms. We take the tail and just fold it up and over. We're just holding it in place. And then we're going to glue the short arm under the bottom. The long arm, we're going to glue and put it over the top. And then we're going to take the head and we're going to glue it here and here so it can come here and over the top. Okay, so let me glue it. And hopefully it'll make sense there. I turn mine around to glue it just so I can see everything really well. So again, I'm just using my glue stick. Take the tail, I'm pulling it over. I'm kind of reversing it because this is how I work with it. So the tail is in, and I always try to keep the precision. You know, if it's askew, it's going to show up later. So I try to keep that precision as I'm working. with the creases lined up. And so I'm going to take the arm and glue it from here to here. So I'm just going to turn this over and apply my glue stick, my glue right here. Turn it back over, take the tail end and pull it over. Take this, the glue stick side is here. And then I'm just going to push it in till it's lined up. Okay, looks like it's good. And then I put my fingers on the inside just to press it down. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm just pressing it down just to make sure that the glue sticks. So a glue stick is all about sticking. Okay, then I'm bringing it back to position so that I can see it again. Again, this is the tail. It comes up and over. I've put one arm in. This next arm I'm going to take up and over the top. So I want to put the glue stick on this side. And I'm right-handed, which is why I keep turning everything back around. This is the side I do everything on. Okay. But then when I look at it, I like to bring it back to this place. The one arm is under. This arm we're going to bring up top. And remember, we're only gluing this top part. There isn't anything for this part to be glued to. Make sure that you have your creases lined up, you know, that your seams are kind of lined up. That's going to help the box to fold better once we get to the end. Okay, I'm going to could probably do a little better there. And again, what I'm going to do is take this flap up and put my fingers in there so I can just press it all down. Just make sure it's got a nice stick to it. Okay, so now I've got the arms done. Really all I have left is the head. Okay, so far we have this made. I'm just setting it back down. And all we need to do now, we've got to glue this portion and this portion. It's going to come, this portion is going to glue to here. This portion is going to glue to here. Now this is where I use my double-sided tape. And I'm going to put the tape right here at the base, just in front of this crease. I'm going to put it just in front of this crease, and then I'm going to put the tape right at the very edge. Put the second piece of tape right here, just before this crease. Oh, sorry for the shaking. And then at the very edge, which is going to help really seal everything together, make sure the box stays shut. And you have a nice block. Okay. And so once I have that, you can see those three pieces, 1, 2, and 3. And use whatever glue or product that makes the most sense or is easiest for you. I just find that the glue stick works pretty well. I don't know that I would use any really wet glue for this. It's just too many things. I feel like it would just be a big sticky mess. But the glue stick works pretty well. So now what I'm going to do is just glue stick these areas. If my light can catch it a little bit better. But basically, I'm just glue sticking the areas in between the tape. Okay. And now we want to make sure, you might want to turn it up this way, just so you can see everything. You want to have the, oops, I don't want it to fall too far in there because this has to stick to this portion. And you want to make sure that that creases at the right place too. And then fold it right over the top. Let's see. This is where you'll know how well you did with all of your other creasing and scoring and everything else. So when it's finished, you can't get your fingers in there, but what I like to do is, you know, to press it down, what I like to do is take, you can see these two pieces here, they need to be stuck together. So what I like to do is just take one of your scrap pieces and stick it through and just use the edge of something to kind of score it together so that those two pieces press together. That's the way I'm thinking about it. And see, now they look a little bit more together. And you can do the same thing for this top piece too, just to, again, press that glue down against the other piece of paper. And there you have it. So let's see, what other pieces? Now you've got a whole set of blocks. So you can just keep making these and have just a lot of fun, which I have done, made quite a few of these now. And like I said, it's pretty simple. You can decorate it any way that you want. You can add whatever kind of words or pictures, stickers. I know some of you are really great artists and you like to draw. You can draw something on these. So I hope that you really enjoy using these inspirational blocks.